Jordan here, and today we have a new Minecraft video. Today, we have an ANA, or All Nepal Airways, Boeing 777-300ER in their current livery. Now, Brady ended up making this livery and cabin, and he did an amazing job with this one, and I just had to show it. And I believe this is the first time we'll be showcasing the 777 on this channel, so I'm really excited to get started and show what this livery has to offer. So, without further ado, enough yapping, let's go ahead and get started with it. So, to start with the showcase of this 777-300ER, we have the nose of the airplane. Now, as mentioned in a previous video, the 777 uses the same forward nose section, or section 41, as the 767. So, in theory, you can take a 767 radome and put it on a 777 and vice versa. So, yes. Anyways, this is the cockpit windows. Here's the Star Alliance logo, and here is the main landing gear. Well, I'm sorry, the nose landing gear for the 777-300ER. It's very, very high off the ground, very tall. We have the forward door right here. We have ANA written right here, and then Inspiration of Japan is written out as well. Here is the L2 door, which is where most passengers will be boarding from, followed by the rest of the airplane. Now, we have the General Electric GE90, I believe is the 115B engines on the 300ER, a slightly different variant than the 200ER variant. In the 200 variant, it's bigger and it's a different shape of an engine. This was part of when Boeing was making the 777-300ER and 200LR. It's a more improved engine with a higher thrust output. Anyways, we have the triple bogey landing gear right here on the 777. Here is the gear door. We have the flap track fairings on the underside of the wing. Here's the rest of it. And then on the top of the wing, we have a symbol for all Japanese airlines that they use right here, as well as some other markings. Again, this is kind of what a Japanese airline thing does. I did remember at one point what this was for. I do apologize. I don't remember what it is now. But on the other side of the wing, they have the registration. Just kind of a thing that they do for Japanese registered airplanes. So, yes. Anyways, as you can see, here is the design that goes through the fuselage right here. And we have the gray underbelly, we have the Japanese flag, and then we have the registration for this aircraft, and we have ANA written on the tail. Again, Brady did a very good job, as well as Miles. He came in to pitch in with that. But anyways, we have the auxiliary power unit exhaust here at the back of the aircraft, as well as on this side of the airplane, we have the bulk cargo bay, the main cargo bays, and then if we go to the front of the aircraft, we have the forward cargo bay. So yes, the 777-300ER effectively replaced the Boeing 747 for ANA and is used on their ultra long and dense routes, such as Tokyo to Chicago, or routes like that are really, really heavy, or San Francisco to Tokyo and whatnot. So, where you have a lot of demand and you want a very, very premium aircraft. Now, before we go to the cabin, I think this is a great segment. Well, actually, we can go to the cabin right now. This is a great segment to kind of talk about. Brady did an amazing job with this cabin. There's our good friend Victor right there in the cabin. Brady did an amazing job with this cabin. Now, it should be noted that ANA's 777s are very, very premium heavy. And as with a lot of Japanese carriers for their long-haul fleet, low-cost options where they densely pack in a lot of people doesn't inherently happen very often with Japanese carriers. So, as a comparison, ANA seats 212 passengers on their 777-300ERs, whereas an airline such as Air France has a configuration that seats up to 472. That's over twice as many people. And Southwind, I believe the Russian carrier, seats up to 550 passengers on a 777-300ER. So, as you can imagine, seating only 212 is kind of impressive. It's impressively low. But anyways, as we're going to show through this cabin right now, it's very, very premium heavy, very, very, dense for the business travelers and those who are willing to pay more. So, this is the first class section. This is, I believe, what ANA calls the room. You effectively have like a little apartment to yourself. It's fully enclosed. It's a ton of space. It's huge. There's a few videos of it on YouTube. It looks fantastic, but this is very, very luxurious. You get a huge screen to yourself, little spots to sit. This reclines into a full flatbed and whatnot. It's huge, but there's not a lot of seats of it. There's only like 8 on the 777-300. So yeah. Next, we go straight into the business class section right here. And they also get themselves their own little space. Again, ANA really goes all out for premium. As you can see that each person gets an individual little IFE screen, little tables and whatnot, pullouts. This is a door that slides and closes. And Brady, again, just did a fantastic job with this cabin. This looks awesome. He did a really, really great job putting extra details into this. This looks fantastic. fantastic. He really knocked it out of the park here. Here's some lavatories. This is the Overwing exits here. Oh, there's Victor right there. Here it is, and here's the Overwing exits, and then it's still more business class effectively, and then it goes to premium economy right here, and then finally at the rear exit we go to the economy class section. It's only this is all that they have for economy class on this airplane. Oop, we had a little glitch there, which is again really impressive, because if this was, I don't know, American or United or whatnot, economy class would start all the way probably up here, or maybe something like that with a mix of premium economy or something. But no, ANA does this, which is an interesting layout. It's very premium heavy, but here's our aft galley of the aircraft and whatnot. But you know, it's just really fascinating. If you ever get a chance to fly on a Japanese carrier, I highly recommend it. It's just very interesting, or just an Asian carrier for that, to be honest, because again, they're not as economy heavy as some of their Western counterparts are. But nevertheless, we can take a stop into the flight deck. This is the cockpit of the Boeing 777. As you can see, we have the cockpit yokes right here, the main panel, MCP, overhead panel, and then we have the rear part of the aircraft, which is kind of in a dark wooded color. Now, Boeing doesn't use this brown color anymore. They now use gray on their airplanes, but you know, I think it's kind of nice. I don't like it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I think it's just fine with the color. So yeah, but anyways, I digress. That's pretty much that for the cockpit. But again, Brady just did an amazing job with that cabin. But yeah, this is the ANA 777-300ER. It's used on tons of their dense routes. They do have the 777X or the 777-9 on order that I believe will be supplementing and replacing some of these aircraft. They also have the A380 and the 7810, I believe. So yeah, ANA relies pretty heavily on Boeing for their wide-body fleet, and it seems like they'll be continuing with that trend with the 777-9, 7810s that will be coming in to kind of replace and fill in the gaps for some of these airplanes. But that's pretty much everything I have. If you've enjoyed this video and you would like to kind of join a little Minecraft server and a Minecraft community on Discord, don't be afraid to check out our Discord server. The link is in the description. If you'd like to join me and see previews of my work and my liveries and interact with other amazing builders and airplane enthusiasts alike, or just some different gaming content. But anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I'm Jordan. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.